What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be breaking down our next playoff series with the San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trail Blazers. Let's hop right in. Coming into this series, the San Antonio Spurs are 62-20 as the 2 seed in the West with an 8-2 record in their last 10 games, and the Trail Blazers are 42-40, getting the 7th seed after their win in the play-in versus the Suns, and they are 7-3 in their last 10 games. Looking at some stats now, the Spurs have been one of the best teams on both ends of the court this season, as they are in second in net rating, only behind the Thunder this season. The Spurs have done a great job on the glass as well, and they have done a great job of protecting the rim with 2 great shot blockers in Wembanyama and Luke Kornet. Whereas the Blazers have really struggled to shoot the ball all season with a negative differential across the board in their shooting splits. But the Blazers do a good job of defending without fouling, and they do a good job of drawing contact and getting to the line on offense. And now looking at the 4 factors for both teams, San Antonio has been near the top in both shooting efficiency and opponent shooting percentage stats. And the Spurs don't force a ton of turnovers on defense, but they also do a great job of taking care of the ball and taking smart shots on offense. And Portland does do a great job of crashing the glass on offense, and Clingan is one of the best in the game at offensive rebounds. However, the Blazers, again, are not a great shooting team, and they will definitely need to be able to space the floor and knock down the perimeter shots with Wemby roaming in the paint. And looking at some play types via synergy, San Antonio has been efficient in spot-up situations, and they've done a great job of moving without the ball and getting open on cuts. And the Spurs have been really solid on defense, especially in transition and against the pick and roll. And for Portland, they have really struggled on offense overall this season, as they are below the 25th percentile in all of their offensive actions. And on defense, the Blazers do have switchable defenders and have been solid on that end of the floor, but they will need to be able to pick it up on offense to compete in the series. And now looking at lineups for both teams, first for the Spurs, their starting lineup of Fox, Castle, Vassell, Champagnie, and Wemby has been super efficient when they're on the court together, with a plus 17.1 net rating. And when they're at full strength, they can definitely compete with anyone in the league. And we saw that when they swept the season series against the Thunder this season. And San Antonio also has great depth, and they have 10 really solid rotational players who they're comfortable with playing, and their depth will certainly be key to their success in this postseason. And now looking at Portland, they have dealt with a ton of injuries all season to Jeremy Grant, Danny Avdija, and Donovan Clingan, among others. And their starting lineup has not had that much time together with each other, recording only 160 minutes and only a plus 2.5 net rating when they're on the court together. However, the Blazers do have solid veterans with Jrue Holiday, Jeremy Grant, and Robert Williams. However, they also have a lot of inexperienced players who have not had postseason experience before, so it will be interesting to see how they adjust to postseason play. And now for defensive matchups. First, for the Spurs, Jrue Holiday, I think, is guarded by De'Aaron Fox to start off, but I could also see a lot of Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper when they're in the game guarding Jrue. Then Jeremy Grant, I have started on by Stephon Castle, but I would not be surprised if Devin Vassell, Harrison Barnes, and Carter Bryant all match up with him. Similarly with Danny Avdija, their all-star, their best player. I think Vassell gets the matchup to start. But like I mentioned, I think Castle, Barnes, and Carter Bryant would all get a ton of time on him as well. Toumani Camara, I think, would be guarded by Justin Champagnie, and then Keldon Johnson when he is in the game. And then Donovan Clingan in the middle, guarded by the 2 centers from San Antonio, Wemby and Luke Kornet. And now for the Blazers, starting with Fox, I think either Jrue Holiday or Toumani Camara can get this assignment, as I think the matchup with Fox and Castle is pretty interchangeable between these two. And I would expect a lot of Scoot Henderson and Matisse Thybulle to also guard these two when they get into the game. And then for Devin Vassell, I think Jeremy Grant would get the matchup on him to start with his length and size, and Shaedon Sharpe would guard him likely when he is in the game. And then Julian Champagnie, guarded by Danny Avdija and Chris Murray, more to give Denny a break on offense, as he will be the primary creator on offense most of the time, and he will definitely need to take more of a backseat on defense. And then in the middle, Wembanyama, a tough assignment for anyone in the league, guarded by Clingan and Robert Williams. And lastly, looking at some X factors for this series. First, for the Spurs, Dylan Harper, the number 2 pick in this past draft, has really impacted winning in San Antonio and has fully bought into his role off the bench. He's been averaging 12 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal per game while shooting 51% from the field, 34% from three, and 76% from the line. Harper's done a great job on both ends of the court, but he will definitely need to be able to knock down his perimeter shots and use his size to defend Portland's ball handlers on defense. And then for Portland, Jeremy Grant. He's been a solid and steady veteran presence all season for Portland, but he is coming into the series a little banged up, but will certainly need to be at his best for them to have a chance. Grant is averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists per game while shooting 45% from the field, 39% from three, and 81% from the line. And Grant is a great two-way player, and the Blazers will certainly need his impact to be felt on both ends of the floor to be competitive in this series. And to wrap things up today, these teams have matched up 3 times already this season, with the Spurs winning the season series 2-1. And this matchup features 2 teams who have a ton of players who do not have a lot of postseason experience, mixed in with a couple of veterans who have a lot of experience, with the Spurs having Harrison Barnes and Luke Cornett, and the Blazers having Jeremy Grant, Drew Holiday, and Robert Williams. And for the Spurs, they've been very dominant on both sides of the ball this season, and they did not get to 62 wins by mistake. They've done a great job of kind of attacking the paint and dominating on the glass while being able to defend at a high level without fouling. But in the playoffs, they will certainly have to knock down their perimeter shots, and that is one of their big questions coming into this postseason run. Whereas Portland has not been a great offensive team this season, but they should be at full strength going into this series and have the ability to make this series competitive. Overall, I think on paper, this might seem like a lopsided matchup, but Portland certainly has the personnel and kind of the play style to make this series competitive. However, my overall series prediction will be the San Antonio Spurs winning 4-1 over the Portland Trailblazers. I just think the Spurs have too much talent on both ends of the court. They have switchable defenders. They have great guard play with Fox, Castle, and Harper. And Wemby in the playoffs, although he hasn't had experience yet, I think he will elevate his game, and I think it will just be too much for Portland to handle. So that is going to be it for today, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. If you did like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.